The Korean entertainment industry always has inadequacies, especially for lesser-known groups who have no solid support. And there is the fact that Nugu groups are often the target of abuse by their management companies. Behind the flashy looks are the always cheerful images, in front of the camera is the misery of many idols, being mistreated by their agency. In this video, let's discover who they are. I'm sure this video is going to expose the dark side of the K-pop industry and change your view towards it. Number 1. Omega X being reportedly physically and verbally assaulted by their CEO. So recently, a Twitter user had stirred up all online platforms after uploading an audio recording with an allegation of Spire Entertainment CEO being caught assaulting an Omega X member during their world tour Don't Give Up. To be more specific, in the circulated audio, CEO Kang Song-hee was heard screaming at and physically abusing a group member. She constantly kept blaming him for not doing anything for her, especially when she had a hard time, while the poor boy just kept silent and showed signs of being panicked.
니네가 나한테 어디 있어? 나 이렇게 힘든데 니네가 나 케어했어?
As being asked to make a statement about this allegation, Spire Entertainment just stated that this was just a misunderstanding and they were trying to solve the problem. Soon after that, SBS had also reached out to Miss Kang via a phone call to ask for her explanation. Surprisingly, though the evidence seems to be as clear as day, the CEO showed no signs of remorse or regret for her actions and constantly denied allegations of assault. When interviewing with SBS, she even claimed that if people tracked the person who spread the recording, they would find out that this person is actually the hater of her agency, and said that there's no company on earth that treats Omega X better than Spire Entertainment. The controversy was pushed to the peak when SBS released another video related to the allegation, proving the opposite of what Kang Song-hee said in the interview. In the video, people can clearly see Jaehan, who was sitting on the ground, looking so panicked as he was continuously shouted at as well as bombarded with loads of abusive and offensive words from Kang Song-hee, even though she was asked to stop. The female CEO was seen to fail to control her anger as she continued to yell at Jaehan rudely, even when they entered the hotel lobby. After verbally assaulting Jaehan for a while, Kang Song-hee suddenly pulled Jaehan's collar and knocked him down on the floor, despite being warned that Jaehan was going to faint as other members saw him hopelessly bursting into tears after collapsing. After watching the videos and listening to the CEO's justification, many netizens expressed their anger toward her alleged shamelessness, especially her violent action toward the members of Omega X. They asked for the protection of Jaehan and demanded punishment for Kang Song-hee for what she had done, and even hoped that Omega X would find a way to terminate the contract with Spire Entertainment as soon as possible, as they aren't going to be safe when working in a toxic environment. Accordingly, the CEO then cancelled Omega X's scheduled flights back to Korea on October 23. Thus, the 11 members and their manager had to ask for help from their families and pay out of pocket to get back to Seoul. Up to now, the rumors and allegations related to this incident have not been clarified 100% and are still causing many controversies and questions throughout the forums. Number 2. The East Light, the victim of physical and mental abuse by their agency's producer and CEO. Back in time, there was a shocking event about a teenage idol group being abused and assaulted by their own company's producer and CEO. In particular, it was reported by the leader of the group, Lee Seok-chol, in a press conference that the members were brutally abused by the producer as well as the CEO. According to what he narrated, in the press conference, the producer Yoon Young-il was repeatedly hitting the boy group members with baseball bats and iron mics numerous times from 2015 to 2017. He even detained the East Light's bassist Lee Seung-hyun in the 5th floor of the recording studio, where the poor boy got hit in the head, thighs, arms, and buttocks over 50 times. While another member, Lee Eun-sung, was hit to the point of bleeding and getting bruises. More terrible, he also revealed that once the group didn't listen to the producer or made a small mistake, they would be wrapped and strangled with guitar strings around their neck. Though the poor boys were full of wounds and bruises, they were not allowed to receive any proper medical treatment but were still made to appear on broadcasts. What's more, the CEO, though witnessing all the wrong deeds of the producer, chose to be silent and just told him to hit them gently. Despite suffering from such unethical treatment, the poor boys didn't dare to tell anyone, even their parents who usually visit them in their dorms, because the producer had threatened to disband the group and even kill them if the matter was exposed. Along with that accusation, Lee Seok-chul also released photos of the bruised body and the bleeding wound on his head when participating in the JTBC's newsroom. Not only that, JTBC even revealed a recording of CEO Kim Chung-hwan's threats toward the group members. "You'll have to keep your mouth shut even if I beat you to death. You want to expose all this? No one's gonna believe you. Don't make a fuss or your parents will be the ones to suffer." Up to now, all the members are still haunted with what they have been through under Media Line Entertainment. They couldn't get over the most horrible memories in their life, as some are even currently receiving psychiatric treatment after developing trauma from these events. As soon as the accusation broke out, it triggered great anger from netizens. They constantly asked Media Line Entertainment to make a statement about the problem and admit all the filthy things they have done. Many also encouraged the boys to speak up for themselves and show their support to them until the end. Upon the great pressure from netizens, the CEO of Media Line Entertainment admitted that the producer Yun Young-il often abused the Eastlight members, yet still denied his unscrupulous behavior. However, all the members and their families didn't give up and looked for a lawyer to plan a lawsuit against the producer and CEO of Media Line Entertainment. And finally, Yun Young-il and Kim Chung-hwan had to pay a deserved and heavy toll after a lengthy process in court. Reportedly, Yun Young-il had been sentenced to 2 years in prison and Kim Chung-hwan had received a 2-year probation sentence. The agency itself had to pay a fine of approximately $17,000. Number 3. Nahyun and Sumin Sonamoo got mistreated by TS Entertainment to the point they demanded to terminate their exclusive contract with the company. On September 23, 2019, it was reported that Sonamoo's Nahyun and Sumin were in their ongoing lawsuit against their agency TS Entertainment to affirm the non-existence of their exclusive contracts. The reason was that TS Entertainment not only had unclear statements of finances, but also provided poor living conditions for this girl group, as their dormitory often had electricity and water cut off. Even worse, they were evicted from their dormitory without any plausible reason or prior notice from the company. Moreover, TS Entertainment also called on fans to raise funds for Sonamoo's comeback, while in fact, their comeback has been still constantly delayed. Although many rookie groups are not paid on time by their agency, which is common practice in the Korean entertainment industry, it's hard to believe that since Sonamoo's debut in 2014, the girl group still hasn't been receiving any salary. That's definitely the company's payroll fraud. It is worth mentioning that TS Entertainment has always been considered a thug company and had already been involved in many legal disputes with their former artists such as Sleepy, Jun Hyo-sung, and Song Ji-hyun, most of whom were required to terminate their contracts with the agency. In response, the company has always given notice of pursuing legal action against their artists. Upon Nahyun and Sumin's denunciation, TS Entertainment was still up to the old trick of suing the two girls for the reason of negatively affecting the other members, causing damage to the group's activities and the company's reputation. Fortunately, until September 15, 2020, according to the media outlet reports, the court ruled in favor of Sonamoo members Nahyun and Sumin, and their contracts were now terminated. After that, Nahyun posted an Instagram story about articles that reported the win in the lawsuit. It was a happy ending for both of the girls after all the time enduring with TS Entertainment's mistreatment during their time working under the company. So, which mistreatment case above do you think is the most serious? And why are less popular groups often treated so badly by their companies? Comment down below to share your thoughts with us. Also, remember to like, share, and subscribe to BeBoss TV for more interesting K-pop content. Thank you for watching!